Centuries ago, humanity's overuse of Earth's resources led to conflict. To save civilization, scientists developed genetically modified orchids as a new energy source. Despite this, humanity continued to fight. To fix this, scientists created the transformation, a procedure at 16 that turns individuals into their ideal selves, known as pretties who live in a utopian city. Those not yet transformed are uglies living in Uglyville. Tally eagerly checks an app to see how she'll look after her transformation. Her best friend, Paris, is about to turn 16 and undergo the procedure. They've been close since childhood, even giving each other quirky nicknames, and sometimes sneak out to watch pretties in the city. They promise to keep matching scars as a symbol of their friendship. The next day, Tally overhears talk of the Smoke, a secret place outside the city, led by David. Governor Cable speaks about the importance of becoming perfect. Afterward, Tally bids farewell to Paris as he heads for his procedure, promising to meet again in a month. That evening, Tally remembers her first meeting with Paris and their shared experiences, including getting matching scars. As time passes, Tally waits for messages from Paris but hears nothing. After a month, she sneaks out, hacks open a window, and leaves the tracker behind. Determined, she heads to the bridge but doesn't find Paris. She climbs down into the city, hides behind plants, and grabs a mask dropped by a partygoer. The mask creates a hologram dress, letting her slip into the party, amazed by the decorations. Tally finds Paris, but he doesn't recognize her. His scar is gone. Shocked, she's forced to flee when the security system detects her. She ends up stuck on a balcony but uses a bungee jacket to jump safely down and escapes under the bridge. Tally, escaping a drone, is rescued by Shay, who pulls her onto a hoverboard. They bond over being left behind, as all their friends have already become pretties. They realize they share the same birthday and are excited to undergo the transformation together. The next day, Shay brings a second hoverboard to teach Tally to ride, though Tally falls immediately. At school, Tally is frustrated when the other girls praise her stunt, realizing Shay must have told everyone. Shay reassures her that the system wants everyone to be pretty. Over the next few days, Tally practices with the hoverboard while reading a survival book. Shay reveals she doesn't want to become pretty, and Tally struggles to understand. Tally eventually becomes skilled, and they have fun riding ramps. One day, Shay suggests they don't need the operation. Tally follows her to the woods, where they leave their rings on branches and cross a river. They arrive at the ruins of an old city, and Shay reveals the Smoke is real, led by David. Shay plans to leave that night and asks Tally to join, but Tally refuses. Shay gives her directions to the Smoke before leaving. On her birthday, Tally arrives for surgery but is sent to meet Dr. Cable instead. He accuses her of knowing Shay's whereabouts and Tally denies it. Cable sends her back to her dorm without the surgery. That night, Paris visits and suggests Tally tell Cable the truth. The next day, Cable orders Tally to infiltrate the Smoke, claiming David plans to attack the city. Tally agrees and is given a necklace to help locate the weapon. Following Shay's directions, Tally rides the hoverboard along an old roller coaster but falls into the woods. She discovers abandoned tracks leading to the Smoke. Over the next few days, she survives in the wild using the guidebook. When the hoverboard shuts off mid-jump, it reactivates just in time, and she lands safely. Meanwhile, Cable tells Paris a new procedure is being offered, and he agrees to undergo body enhancements. That night, Tally is woken by smoke and realizes the field is on fire. David rescues her, scans her, and removes the hoverboard tracker but misses the necklace. Cable's team begins searching for her. The next morning, David and Tally reach a smoke outpost, where Tally is reunited with Shay. Croy, another member, is suspicious and Tally lies about the necklace, claiming it was a gift from Paris. Shay is happy to see her, but when Tally expresses concern, they argue. Tally agrees to give the Smoke a chance. Tally learns that the Smoke burns orchids to prevent their spread as they damage the planet. David reveals the orchids were a government lie and offers to show Tally the harm they cause. Tally agrees to join him, and although Croy protests, Shay supports her decision. The group flies in a helicopter to a former orchid site, now a desert. Shay burns the remaining orchids to stop their spread. When Croy detects someone approaching, David hides the helicopter in smoke, but Shay falls. As Cable scouts close in, Tally uses a rope to climb down and save Shay. The helicopter escapes just in time. After landing, Croy suggests Tally was tracked because of her, but Shay defends her. David agrees anyone willing to risk their life for the Smoke deserves a chance. That night, Tally, troubled by memories of Cable, sneaks out and accidentally stumbles upon David bathing in the river, embarrassing herself before retreating. The next day, Tally is blindfolded and brought to the smoke, where she finds a community living in harmony with nature. The lifestyle is harder than city life, but everything is shared, and there's no money. The people use old train tracks for tools but avoid making weapons, as they are pacifists. One afternoon, Tally finds a strange door but is caught by Croy and sent away. She begins contributing, helping with the tracks, trying spicy food, and joining dances around the fire. Later, David teaches her to use a hunting crossbow, and after several attempts, she finally hits the target. On their walk back, David reveals he grew up in the wild, never knowing the city. Tally, shocked, admits she barely knew her parents. David gives her a pair of gloves. Soon after, a wounded smoke member returns from burning orchids and warns of the scouts' proximity. She mentions that the scouts seem faster and stronger than usual. Shay notices Tally wearing the gloves, recognizing their significance. In the smoke, objects hold deeper meaning, and since David made the gloves, it shows he likes her. Shay advises Tally to make a choice and stop leading David on. Tally brings up rumors of a weapon to destroy the city, and David takes her to meet his parents, Arizona and Maddie, who are the keepers of all the books in the smoke. Arizona and Maddie were once cosmetic surgeons for the government, but after becoming suspicious of certain tests, they uncovered the horrifying truth: the physical transformation to become pretty is a cover-up for mind-altering procedures. The operation not only changes appearance but dulls the mind, making people more easily controlled. This process has caused numerous deaths, which were kept hidden. When Cable realized they knew the truth, she stole their research. Doctors and officials, however, were given a cure to maintain their clarity while working for the government. Arizona and Maddie, horrified by their past work, fled the city, seeking to live naturally in the wild. Over the years, they've tried to recreate the cure, but a vital synthetic component is missing, leaving only a base serum. This serum is what David and his parents believe could be a weapon to destroy the city, a cure that would break the government's control. After hearing this, Tally decides to stay with the smoke, symbolized by throwing her necklace into the fire. David, not caring about her past, reassures her that she's a new person. They share a kiss, and as the necklace burns, it signals her final break from the city. The next morning, city aircraft arrive and attack the smoke. Chaos erupts, and the rebels scatter, but the scouts are too fast and strong to stop. Despite the traps set by the rebels, many are captured, including Shay. Tally and David find a hiding spot, but Tally insists David stay behind, as the scouts are too powerful. Tally and David approach the prisoners and are devastated to find Paris among them. He's become a scout. Arizona and Maddie are captured, and Cable orders Paris to kill Arizona. Tally and David rush out to stop him, but it's too late. Arizona is dead. Cable announces to the smoke members that Tally has been working for her all along, and the community turns against her. In the confusion, Maddie slips the serum into David's pocket. Cable orders everyone to undergo the pretty surgery or face punishment. Desperate, Tally sets a fire in the supply shack, grabs a crossbow, and escapes through a window just as a scout tries to catch her. The fire causes an explosion, throwing the scout back and allowing David to escape. The blast disrupts the scout's search, and Tally and David manage to slip away. Tally stops a scout from pursuing David with an arrow, but the situation grows worse as Cable announces the scouts will leave and the area is set on fire. Maddie's research is destroyed, and the remaining prisoners are pushed into aircraft. After the scouts leave, David gathers supplies for a rescue mission. Tally offers to help, but in his anger, David attacks her with a knife, stopping just short of hurting her. Tally convinces him she's needed for the mission because she knows the city, and reluctantly, he accepts her help. In the city, Tally approaches a group of students who read Shay's book and introduces them to David to prove the existence of the smoke. She borrows an interface ring and arranges for them to create a distraction by writing "The smoke lives in the sky." Meanwhile, David and Tally prepare to infiltrate the aircraft using hoverboards to glide past the guards and enter the aircraft's tunnel safely, thanks to bungee vests. Once inside, Tally tries to hack a lock but realizes they're in a secure area. A pretty opens the door and David fights him, overpowering the pretty to give Tally the chance to take the ring. After locking the door, alarms blare. They find the prisoners and free them, but when Tally searches for Shay, she discovers Shay has already undergone the surgery and is now a pretty. Despite the transformation, Shay insists she's happy and at peace. Tally, heartbroken, apologizes, but Shay brushes it off, content with her new life. Cable and Paris arrive, forcing Tally, David, and Maddie into the surgery machines for transformation. Just as the process begins, the Smoke's helicopter appears, and Croy opens fire with the flamethrower, causing Cable and Paris to retreat. The machines are damaged, and the operation fails, allowing the trio to escape. Tally grabs Shay, while Maddie secures the needed component for the cure. The group races to the roof, where they find Paris enforcing the city's will. Tally tries to reason with him, but David, mistaking the situation, tackles Paris. Paris overpowers David, but before he can finish him off, Tally swoops in on a hoverboard, knocking Paris off the edge. He falls into a waterfall after calling out her nickname. The group escapes on hoverboards, witnessing chaos in the sky as drones cause crashes. Hiding in an abandoned city, Maddie prepares the cure but is uncertain of its effects. It might work or have disastrous consequences. Shay refuses the cure, and Maddie decides not to force it on anyone. In a final act of bravery, Tally volunteers to be the test subject. She plans to turn herself in, undergo the surgery, and take the cure, promising to send a sign if it works. With Cable closing in, they say an emotional goodbye, and Tally allows herself to be captured. Months later, Tally is now pretty, living a luxurious life as part of the city's elite. She claims to love her new life, but the scar on her hand is a reminder of her true self. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more contents like this.